Howdy y'all, hope you're having a good day. Silver Trade here again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about 13G filings. GameStop posted this on 8/9/24. Their social media team has been absolutely on fire lately. This is obviously a small jab at AMC. And see, there's a lot of distractions out there, but if the people were to come together and really focus on one thing, they'd have a lot easier of a time succeeding in their goals. I'm the type of person where I think about the extreme of each side. Sometimes AMC follows GameStop perfectly. Sometimes AMC doesn't follow GameStop. I mean, we've all been watching them for a long time. We'll see GameStop run 40% in a day and AMC run 8% in a day. Once GameStop finally has its day, there is a chance that AMC will completely not follow it because they're completely different sectors. It doesn't have to. That's not how stocks work. Badass Trader 69 posted the giant Dorito. This is a really good looking wedge. I'm very excited to see what happens on Monday morning. And we know that the IV goes down, and we know the IV goes back up, and a little bit of volatility is expected coming up, from that. And with it looking like it's maybe going to break out soon, I'm very excited to see what happens on Monday and next week. And XRT on 8/9/24 is at 349.78% short. That is almost 100% less than we saw yesterday, where it was stuck at about 440% for a straight 3 days. But it dropped today, maybe because they did covering, maybe because they're doing covering and we'll see that price action on Monday, maybe because they just printed another 800,000 XRT shares, which is very bullish for GameStop, but who knows. Yesterday on XRT, 2/3 of the volume was short. The day before that, another 2/3 of the volume was entirely short. 2/3 of the volume was short. The day before that, 4/5 of the volume was short. Here's GameStop's implied volatility versus their stock price. Stock price is blue and IV is purple, obviously. As you can see, this is just within the last 1 year. IV spikes way up, goes way down. IV spikes way up, literally 100, all the way back down to 12, even 5. All the way up to 97, 98, and then over here a couple times we hit 100 on the IV. Now we're back down to low IV. And options really appreciate or depreciate in value depending upon the IV of a stock. So if you were to buy a call option and then the IV continues up, even if the stock price is staying steady flat, your premium will still increase. And so really, there's been 1 good time to buy options, 2 good time to buy options, 3 good time to buy options, and then now we're here at not a bad place to do it. But remember, none of this is financial advice. But we've seen it time and time again. IV up, down, IV up, way up to 100, and then down, way up. And even with zero stock price movement, and sometimes there'll even be zero stock price movement, even though the IV is way up. But we know that we have earnings coming up in about a month from now. And GameStop just made their Pro membership only $20 to try to get as many Pro subscriptions as possible, I think, to talk about it at their next earnings. And so this is pretty crazy, and he tried to post this before, but it didn't really work out. Look, 25,000 views and only 2 likes with a 50% upvote rating. Some people say you're crazy if you say that people at banks have teams that are dedicated to downvoting good DD, but I mean, it had 25,000 views and 2 likes. Very interesting. Long story short, this guy probably has a whole bunch of shares and a whole lot of money because he's not worried about a $150,000 fine if he messes up the 13G. But so Larry Chang owns about 78,000 shares of GameStop, which he's purchased with multiple 13Gs, 13G filings. Even at 78,000 shares, he still doesn't even own 1% of the stock. He just files a 13G, even though he's buying like 0.01%, like very small amounts. This guy is also going to go file a 13G, and he is going to make it public exactly how many shares he owns, and he wants other people to know that you don't have to own 5% to go and do the 13G. But if you do the 13G, anything that you do to that position, you have to update your 13G within 2 days. So that's how we know that the cat hasn't sold his dog stock yet, because we haven't seen the 13G filing for it. But by doing the 13G, you are literally putting your name out there with exactly how many shares you have. I'm sure that this guy's wanting others to follow him just to see how many people are out there holding how many shares. But here he's saying, do not follow me into this beach because you are literally doxing yourself, putting your name and info out there for people to find. Canadians now pay more in taxes than food, housing, clothing combined. I mean, look at this chart. What the heck? And a couple of different sources have tried to figure out what the yen carry trade could actually be worth. Some people think it's about 200 trillion, other people think it's about 1 trillion, other people think it's about 3.4 trillion. Either way, though, you can see on this graph that it really started to move upwards around 2021 is when it really started moving up. And really it was right before that in 2020, about halfway towards the back half of the year. And really it looks like it kind of started moving up at 2020 whenever it broke out, held that, and then 2021 is when it really started ripping up to at least $1 trillion now. And this is the only thing that came out today about Andrew Left, just that his posts were deleted last year and they're coming up in the court case. We already knew this, but this is all that has come out today about it. I really appreciate you guys. God bless you and have a great one.